EU-Armenia relations that, according to EU High Representative Gaia Gallas, are on an all-time high, do not make all players in the region happy. Armenia and EU launched cooperation in security and defense to address Armenia's immediate needs, but Hungary, Azerbaijan's close ally, blocked the EPF funding. Although the EU's political support when it comes to peace and stability in the region is obvious, the tangible security soft power tool that is in fact there is the EU's civilian mission on the border. The mission frequently comes under attack too. Mission head Markus Ritter sits down with the voice of Yerevan, pledging the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Mr. Ritter, thank you for this opportunity.
It's always a pleasure to come here.
The European Council has extended the mandate of EUMA in Armenia till February 2027. Will there be a change in functions and/or contributors?
No, the mandate is quite the same what we had in the first 2 years, and having been quite successful in these 2 years, all member states agreed that we will continue with the same mandate until February 27.
25 EU member states, as well Canada, are contributing non-EU member state. EUMA clearly stands for Europe's unanimous support for peace and stability in South Caucasus. Why does Baku set up the precondition of EUMA's withdrawal from Armenia-Azerbaijan border as a requirement for a peace agreement?
I cannot speak for Baku, but what I can say that we are aware that the withdrawal of third country powers is one condition of the peace treaty. It's in future.
Well, that clearly refers to EUMA.
Yeah, that's one interpretation. For us, it will be important what Armenia is saying. So if the signing and the ratification of the peace treaty will question our mandate here, the European Union and the member states will negotiate with Yerevan about a modification of the mandate or whatever. But that depends on the signature and the ratification.
Mr. Ritter, since your deployment, the ceasefire violations have clearly, drastically decreased. Do you believe that the requirement of your withdrawal is actually suggestive of intentions of aggression?
I can only say that we, by our presence and by our patrolling alongside the border, and by the way, up to this week we did now nearly 6,000 patrols, we are stabilizing the situation at the border. I know that this is appreciated on the Armenian side. I think it's also somehow seen positively by others. So for us, that means as long as this treaty has not been signed and there's not really peace, it is worth to continue with the patrolling like it is said in our mandate.
Do you oversee all of Armenia-Azerbaijan border? Do you have access to all points?
We have now access or freedom of movement in all over Armenia. We can reach those points we want to go. We have a good cooperation with our host authorities, meaning the Armenian army and the border guards, and we can reach those points we want to go. So I can see clearly say that we have an overview about what is going on at the border.
Peace agreement preconditions Azerbaijan puts forth are changing Armenia's constitution to remove reference to Nagorno-Karabakh, dissolving the OSCE in Minsk Group, extraterritorial access to its enclave Nakhchivan, and surprisingly, the withdrawal of EUMA that does statistically contribute to stability. Despite EUMA head's understandable unwillingness to cross over from on-the-ground patrolling to politics, the picture needs little adjustment. If peace is the purpose, why try to detract a contributing factor? If the logic behind the other preconditions is clear, to wipe off historic, legal or political grounds for claiming Armenians' rights to Nagorno-Karabakh in the future, the withdrawal of EUMA raises more questions and eyebrows. In answer to Baku's continuing requirements, Armenia has offered to withdraw the mission from sections of the border that have already been demarcated. What's the situation on the delimitated border? And how do you believe your withdrawal from there could affect the whole situation?
The idea of a withdrawal of our patrols from the delimited area was born autumn last year. As I know, it was discussed with Azerbaijan, but there was not really an agreement on this. So for us, never anything changed. So we are still patrolling in these areas, also in the Tavush region, where we have these 12.7 kilometers of delimited border. And for us, it makes no difference. What we have there, what we see, that the situation calmed down significantly. The army retreated. We have now there on both sides border guards that are standing openly there guarding. We observe units from both countries who are doing demining work and whatever, and it's quite peaceful there. But also we don't see any changes since May last year, so it's still those 12.7 kilometers that have been delimited last spring 24.
How do you communicate with the locals? And is there any contact with the Azeri side?
We don't have contact with the Azeri side. That is something I regret. Since the beginning of the mission, we always offer to cooperate with Azerbaijan. This is not possible at the moment. So we are concentrating on the Armenian population in the border area. That we are doing by patrolling to those villages, remote towns and small farms to talk with the people we meet there. But also what we started in December last year is that we are visiting schools in the border areas. We are presenting there the mission, who we are, what is our mandate, what are we able to do, because there have been at the beginning of our mission here a lot of expectations, who we are and what we can do. So we explain very clearly what we can do. And we also present the member states. So each patrol officer who is visiting the school class also talks a little bit about his home country, where he's coming from, what is his job at home. But what we also do there is we explain a little bit what is the European Union, what is the European Union standing for, and what are our values. Because we learned that a lot of people, especially in the border areas, don't really have an idea what the European Union is. So as I said, we started with school classes. We now have a break, a summer break. We will continue in September. But we also now go to municipalities, to the mayors, whatever, and present us. And that works quite well and is much appreciated by the people.
How does the local population feel about you? Are they hospitable? Armenians are known to be a very hospitable nation, but there's also a language barrier. So how do you cope with the human aspect of interactions?
Yeah, it's a beautiful country, Armenia, but it has, at least for the Europeans, a very difficult language. This I have to admit. We have interpreters, so for the daily work we are able to communicate with the people. In our free time or off duty, we are trying to arrange ourselves with speaking with hands and feet. But what we see and what we really observe is that more and more young people are speaking English. So in the supermarkets, in the villages where we are accommodated, it happens more often that we are approached in English, and people are trying to help us. And young school children very often come and try to speak English with us, and also showing that they know some English. So this is something that we see. All in all, the people are, as you said, very friendly. We still, after 2.5 years, feel very warmly welcomed. We have the feeling that we really do something that the people like, and that they are happy that we are here. And we learned this when there was a discussion last winter about, with the peace process, if we have to withdraw or not, and that a lot of people approached us and said, we hope that you will stay. And this calmed down now, because I think we make it clear everywhere that it's not a question that EUMA is leaving, and that at least for the end of the second mandate now, nothing will change. So the people like us and we like them.
Does your presence on the border make them feel safer?
I think it's not only the presence at the border. It is, for example, in Yegnadzor, where we have our headquarters, there are a lot of cars with a European flag, with the European signs. Even if we only go to the next village or to the supermarket, the people see every day European Union vehicles and see us among them. And that gives them the feeling they are not alone. The international community is taking care. And that also gives them the feeling that it's not so easy for both sides of the conflict to start something without the international community getting notice of this. And that helps.
Before your deployment, sides used to accuse each other of ceasefire violation. Your task is to establish the realities on the ground. Do you know now who was actually behind those violations, or who is actually behind those violations, and who isn't?
What we don't do, we don't have an investigation task. So we are patrolling, and this is there are around 1,000 kilometers of border we have to patrol in remote areas. So very often, if there are incidents reported, it takes us hours to go there. And we are not eyewitness of this. What we do, we can report that there have been incidents, but it's not easy because we can only talk with one side to say who started or whatever. But I think we have a clear picture, but also we decided, and that's a policy of the European Union, not to point with the finger on one or the other side. We are reporting our findings to Brussels and to the member states, and it's then on them to react on this and to talk with both sides.
So Brussels knows who's behind those shootings, but it's not public. Did I get you right?
They have knowledge about the incidents at the border that are not public, and
Thank you.
What I say.
All said, Yerevan's willingness to host the mission and Baku's refusal to cooperate with it is an answer in and of itself. Yerevan wants the realities on the border to be known by the bigger decision makers. Baku doesn't. Conclusions are obvious.